Okay, live again. And still plugging away on my character selection screen here. We've got a little bit more work done from yesterday. This was all done during the live stream yesterday. All the shelving here that I went and created. Made some rough 2x4s and went and placed them in order to start giving the room a little bit more clutter in terms of how things feel and what they look like. And I just renamed my stream again. There must be a setting for this. Every time I start live streaming, I go and take a look, and it automatically names my stream. I think this multi-platform thing is not going to last. Having to go into my streams and rename them every time. Pain in the butt. Alright, let's switch this over to my headset. Make sure on the VPN from work. Everything else is closed, that's fine. Let's see about renaming the live stream here again. Okay, let's try this again. All right, so it should be renamed now on YouTube. I'm not going to bother with Twitch. I don't think too many people watch on the Twitches. I usually get about 1 or 2 viewers there. Those are typically students that stream themselves playing games and will only come over and watch my stream kind of when they're done type thing. And so, I don't know how worth it is to go and do that. Just noticing a little bit of gap here inside one of the shelves that I built. The 2x4s are quite a bit above the balancing board. And this is probably because they're warped. I don't know how big of an issue that's going to be. Anyway, I got a few plans for things that I want to do today. Something occurred to me yesterday that I thought would be pretty fun to do inside of this environment. There's another shelf that I want to build. I want to build an aluminum shelf that I can use to start stacking things on as well. Only just so that it's not, the world's largest collection of 2x4 shelving. I wouldn't mind getting another type of shelf in here, just so that I can mix and match them a little bit and end up with a little bit more variety in what the room looks like. I want to go mental with the amount of shelves that I build, but at the same time, I don't want this to just be carbon copies of the same thing over and over and over again. So if I can do that, I will. I would like to change up my audio cues that I've got going on for playing the sounds. My kids played the map this morning, wanting to see what I had changed overnight. So it's actually really funny. My kids listen to the live stream as they're going to bed. I don't know how well this speaks of my live streams, but they said it helps put them to sleep. And so they've been listening into the live stream, and they heard me working away on this last night, and saying some of the things that I was saying. And so first thing in the morning, they wanted to come play it to see, what I had done, what I had changed. And obviously the shelving was the biggest change to the world here, in that I had gone and added that. And so that was pretty fun. But the thing that I really picked up on was that the first thing they did when they got in here was they went and looked for their sound cues. My daughter went to go play hers, my son went to go play his, and they just wanted to make sure that all the sound cues were in the same locations. And so that is something that I want to correct. I want to make it so that if there are sound cues that play in the map, that they're not always in the same locations, and that they're not always in the same locations, and that they're random whenever you do find one. So yeah, you won't always hear the same noise in the same spot, but it'll kind of bounce around. And I've got a couple of ideas as to how I might do that. I figured what I might do is actually create almost like a checkpoint system, with little collision boxes kind of all over the place. And when you touch one, it plays a sound, but then it moves that blueprint to one of the other systems. So that if you go back over the same area, you won't hear that same sound again. You won't hear another sound again. It'll just it'll be gone. So I think first things first, I would like to go through and finish some of the beams here. So I've still got a lot of my proxy geometry in the world, which is not going to do it for me, and I want to clear that up. And I think the smartest thing to do is to actually go in and kind of finish doing the construction of everything. So I shouldn't need that. So I'm going to start off by grabbing the cross beams here, and I'll move them over. There should be a beam over here upon which they shall sit. And so we're just going to pull this out so it's not in the wall. So something like that. And then again, the joists should sit on top of that. So I've got a few joists here already made, and I'm just going to go and duplicate those throughout the rest of the basement. Those are the joists I have, and there's a duplicate on this side. I'm going to switch over to my top view to do this, just so that I can place them as evenly as I can in terms of their distance, their spread. I don't care if it's uneven. It's just as long as I get kind of close enough that it looks like it's kind of finished. And so that's kind of the goal here. So there's another one there. And then we're just going to do the last two again, kind of all the way at the end. So, all right, so jump back into perspective here, and I should have a full complement of joists up. We can see a lot of repeating textures on them, but I don't think it's going to be such a big deal, because once the lighting gets baked, I don't even think we're going to notice that. I am going to leave them open on this side. I don't think I'm going to bring the joists over. I don't really have a reasoning for that. I just think it might be okay without them. Yeah, you know what? Let's bring them over. So this one, and this one. I'm going to hold Alt and move, and then I'll add Shift to the mix. Just make sure I get them in the right area, like so. And again, they're going to go through the wall here, which I'm assuming isn't going to be too big of a deal breaker. Forgot one. And so I'll move this over here as well. So I might truncate these a little bit, maybe to get them not sticking out of the wall so much. We'll see how that works. Grab these 2, 3, and 4. And let's go shrink him in on Z. 1.5 we'll try. What? Oh, it's locked. That's why. Realize I had locked that at some point. Try this again here. Back on that beam. Okay, so they're sticking through, but it's a very, very small amount. So maybe we'll drop this a little bit more, just to get it again as close as I can here without any overlap. As long as that doesn't go inside, yeah, that'll work. So there again, there's a little tiny bit of wood sticking out, but it shouldn't be enough that we can see it from inside. And so that'll work nicely. Let's go check the hole over here. And same deal. I can't see any of that wood sticking through, which is quite nice. I don't have any beams or support on this side of the room. And I feel like that's maybe something that should exist. And so we're going to go do that by grabbing one set of everything I have in the middle. This out the shelves. And we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to line my camera up. I'm going to hold Alt and Shift. Move a copy over. Get this to line up here. And that should just kind of provide support for the joists on this end. And add a little bit of completion to the look of the room. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I have 2 support beams here that I just want to double check that I didn't do that. And I did. So I'll delete that one. There we go. And that's going to work quite nicely, I think. So I'm going to do a build here again. Build all. I'm using production quality when I do my light building, and I haven't decided when I'm going to shift down. I'm going to shift down at some point, and it's going to be based off the amount of time it takes my system to build the lighting. Once I get to the point that I'm not happy waiting for it is when I'm going to make the shift. And so I don't know when that'll be, but at some point I'll lose patience with it, and won't want to wait anymore. And that's when I'll adjust it so that it's not taking forever to build. And what I'll do is I'll do a light bake kind of every night after I go to bed, kind of thing. I'll let the machine run and do its thing. Okay, so that's good. Let's do the, let's go and do this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just kind of plug away here at some stuff without any vocalizations. I'm not going to be talking into the mic. I don't have any current live viewers at the moment. Oh, now I do. And so I thought I might kill the audio, but nope, never mind. Okay, we'll keep going. So, what was I going to do? Let's go plug away at this audio system that I've got. So I've got these sound cues here. Not the ambient, but the 4 sounds that I've got. That's going to be one of those things I think that is much better suited to, let's see, Jack, Laugh, See You, Snarl. So those are my 4 sound cues. And I'm going to delete them from the world. And I'm going to go and rebuild them here using a randomized system so that it randomly picks one of the 4 cues and plays that. And then we'll see about maybe making it bounce around the room too, though I'm not overly concerned about that just yet. Hello, hello, you lovely people. I figured I'd turn on my microphone. Grace you with the silky smooth voice that is. So I'm having a little issue here in that I'm trying to convert a system that was meant for a first-person shooter into a third-person system and try to have it work in first person, if that makes any sense. So what I'm doing here is making it so that when you get near enough to a totem and you can hit E to interact with it, the object will show up on screen. I've lost mouse input, nor can I move. And if I hit E again, it puts it back on the shelf, and my character is now free to move again. Now, this is going into first person, and I'm locked in first person here. And then it goes back to third person. However, the system that was built uses this timeline to linear interpolate between two different camera positions, as it were. And what that's doing is absolutely sweet fuck all. Right now, it's moving my object over here, which is good. But all of this system down here, oh no, that's right. So this timeline, this guy right here, this dictates how long it's going to take for the object to get to me. So I think I'm going to move this to 1 second long, like so, so that it only takes 1 second for the object to get near me. And then, where's my lerp between the cameras? It's down here. So all I'm doing in here is just setting my active camera. There's absolutely nothing here that eases in or eases out to that new position. And that's what I would like it to do. I would like to actually kind of have some kind of animation on there instead of just that harsh pop, as it were. See, I hit E there and it didn't come to me. I hit E again and there it is. And then it's gone. And I can do the same thing with this one. Whoop, and it's up. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this so that my mouse, instead of looking around the room, is actually going to orbit the object so you can look at it all around. And then he puts it back and then he can walk away. So what I've essentially built into the system here is the ability to have the students, when they pick their creatures based off this system, is going to make it so that they can actually put the object back and try to interact with something else. So if they do figure out how the game system works, how the game rules work, they'll be able to manipulate the game and try and find something that they want to interact with. So I think 1 second might be too slow for it to get to where it's going. Whoop. Yeah, I think so. That's where that air is. So for whatever reason, oh, wow. Per person, execute graph set access none. Trying to read property. Yeah, it's one of the blueprints is broken, and it seems to be the same one. It's this one. Totem 6 doesn't work. Let me try that again. Go fine. I can't get through there. So this should be totem 6. Yeah, see, it worked just fine that time. And this one works just fine. Go try and find another one here. That one was okay. That one's okay. That one's okay. You seem to work fine. And then lastly, under the stairs. So this guy I can't call. Now I think that's because I'm not actually getting him. The ray casting, you can see, does not actually reach that guy. And I think that's what's impeding my ability to get him. The raycast is failing. It's hitting the stairs, not the totem. And that, therein lies the problem. So let's move that guy out. So mental note, I have to have a clean path to my asset. See, on fail, this should just do nothing. Shouldn't give me an error. However, I'm here. Oh, see, I can't interact. Oh, now I can. So that one failed 3 times, 4 times. Why is that the case? Let's get back over there. That one works fine. So for whatever reason, sometimes it fails. Those 2 work fine. See, I got nothing. That's going to be an error. Oh no, I wasn't close enough. Okay, so that's the other issue, is that I've got to be close enough for that text to fire off. I've got an inconsistency in my collision volume. So in the totem blueprint, you may have seen me fiddling around with this here. So I have this collision volume surrounding the box. And this collision volume is what fires off that hit E to interact. Now, actually, I don't even need this at all. I could probably do this in another way. I think I should just make it smaller. And try that. So I want to make sure that when that text is on screen, it always works. Yeah, it looks like I've got the range correct now. Beauty. Now, I don't know if you noticed this. I mentioned in the text... Oh, see, I got some errors there. That was the first totem mesh that was using the proper mesh. Because these things are assigned randomly to the world, they're different. Every time I go into this, every time I go into the room, they're different. And inside the list of totems in here, it actually did go through this system and assign the one totem that actually has its own mesh already. I've got to create 50 of these things, 50 unique meshes, but that was the first one that it fired off and did its own thing. So anyway, I'm going to see if I can lerp this this camera now, which would be nice if I could do that. See, I'm wondering if I just lerp the existing camera, right? So maybe what I do in the viewport is I've got a position where this thing should be here, and then instead of having a second camera, I just put a dummy node or something here, and I move the camera forward. I'm wondering if that's the best way to do this. Yeah, I think I might try doing that. Let me see if it's actually possible to lerp in between cameras. Because that would be super useful. That is just swapping. There's no lerp there. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be possible. So there is a lerp, a camera lerp that's in here. Camera lerp. Oh, view lerp. Set view. Where are you? Set view target with blend. So there's this guy here. And what this allows me to do is it allows me to swap out set view target with blend. Let me look that up. Make sure I'm actually understanding what this does correctly. But it allows me to swap out what the camera's looking at, and because of that, I can swap out cameras, which is really nice. So this is set view target with blend, and this does a really good job of going in between the two systems, the two cameras, which would be really, really nice. So what that would do is that this would go here instead of these 4 nodes, and there would be a duplicate here in reversed between these 4 nodes, which would be really, really awesome. The downside of this is that I haven't been able to get it to work. And the idea here would be to take the time node, whatever I have here. I think this is still set to 1 second. 1 second, yes. So the idea would be whatever time the timeline is to match it in here. So 1 second. The problem with this is that I need a reference to the player character or the player controller. I'm not typing. Player controller. No, not is player controller. Get out of here. I gotta put my context sensitive back on. Player. Not typing. Player controller. So if we get the player controller, shove that into the target, that works. And then the new target would be camera number 2, which is the inspection camera. And no, that doesn't work. Right, it's the item location. So this was the issue I was having. No, it's the inspection item. So it's the target, it's the object that you want it to look at. Which is why this is all screwed up. Why this is not going to work. And so if I look at my totem here, get hit totem, and I put this in here, that is an object we can look at. And what I'm going to do is swap this out. That, so that's not wired up anymore. We'll compile this and that will work. However, when I go to play here now and I'm on an object, when I hit E, the camera does what it's not supposed to do. So it actually, the camera went to where the totem is. So the totem here is not the right object. Now I've got a collision sphere here, and that would be an awesome place for it to go, but I can't put it there. I have a arrow component, and I can't put it there. So this has to be an actor component. Actor object reference, so a reference to an actor in the scene. And that hit totem references an actor. It's something that's in the world. And none of these are. And so that's why I'm having issues with this, why I can't use this view target. Let me see what else I can find. Maybe for third person to first person. The other thing that I want to avoid is the GoldenEye effect. That bothered me to no end in GoldenEye, and it still bugs me a lot when I see it in games now, where it starts off in third person, and when the camera goes to first person, it goes in the back of his head. until you're looking out of the first person, and then just, man, that looks stupid to me. And so, okay, so I think what I'm gonna have to do here is use my lerp that's going on here, and set it to move the camera as well. So I'm gonna need another set actor location rotation. We're gonna have to do this stuff again, and it means no more of this. No, still need to enable and disable the camera, or the player movement. So we're gonna leave that there for now. So let's compile this, and the first thing we need to do is get something that is going to be where the camera is. So this object here is called the camera boom, and it's an arm that follows the player around, and the camera is attached to the end of that. So it's kind of like adding a pivot extension to the camera. Now, the nice thing about this is that you can do things like lag. If I have the boom selected and I go to lag, you can see that there's Naval Camera Lag. And what that does, it's kind of a neat system, is that when you move, there's lag in the camera. And what that'll allow me to do, you can see I can do it fairly quickly here, is I can actually get the camera in front of the guy. And it's because when I move the mouse, the camera doesn't move instantaneously. Let me ramp it up to show you just exactly how much lag there is here. So I went from 10 to 1. Okay, so that went faster. So let's set it to 100. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow me, so I'm walking and I move the camera, and you can see that there's like a second before he turns. Anyway, what that's really good for is doing like a driving game. If you want, when your camera is following behind your car in third person like this, and you make a left turn, like you don't want the camera to instantly turn left. It's very jarring when you see that. So you have the car turn left, and then a second later, the camera kind of swings over and behind and looks in the direction the car is pointing. It feels a little bit more natural. And so anyway, that's what this boom arm is used for. Now, the issue that I have is that my camera is currently parented to the boom, and that's how you make that work. So I think what I'm going to have to do is create a couple of dummies. First, I'm going to destroy the inspection camera, because it's of no use. And I'm going to make the item location here not parented to the camera. Well, I can't actually parent that to anything. Okay, well, that's going to be an issue. Actually, no, that'll be fine, because that's what we're going to be looking at. Oh, I might actually get something cool out of this. Okay. So I'm going to pull the camera out from the boom. I don't want to attach it there. Really? I can't unparent it? Follow camera. Oh, son of a gun. You're not going to let me unparent. Should just be able to drag this somewhere else. Well, I don't want it parented to that. Yeah, see, there's supposed to be the ability to drag it in between. That's what frees it up. Okay, camera's gone. No. This air world location. What was I getting the location of? This should be. Here, let's use the item location. I forget what I was using as the base. It might have been the camera I just had. Go see how this works. Oh yeah, that's... I somehow seem to have moved the camera back a week. Yeah, that's no good. Okay, so... Item location is wrong. What just happened to my camera? Why is my camera back there? Where's the camera boom? Follow camera should be attached to the boom. And it should have 0. Oh, that's why. It's got movement. Wait, now it's not parented. What the... Okay. After all that trying to unparent the goddamn thing, it went and unparented itself. Okay. Screw you, Unreal. What, did Autodesk make this software? Okay. Dummy's not going to work. Point light is not going to work. I need a dummy object. What is the little circle guy called? Scene component. Okay. I'm going to put the scene component on the boom arm. And the item location parented to the scene. Okay. So if I grab the boom arm and the scene, and we zero out the movement, boom arm, scene, boom arm, scene. Okay, so those are in the correct positions. And I'm going to zero this guy out. And then move him forward. Like so. Okay, good. Now, I need to take the camera, set it up to the boom arm location. So the way I'm going to do this is by grabbing the height of the boom arm and pasting the camera at that height. Then I'm going to grab the boom arm length, 300, and I'm going to move the camera back in X, that exact amount. And there. So I now have the camera exactly where all of that nonsense is. I should be able to hit play now here, and crap. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit interesting because I've completely broken the looking aspect of the camera here. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I'm getting some weird control here. So if I hit W, he moves forward. And if I hit S, he does a 180 and turns around. And then if I hit A, he turns left, but then walks in that direction. So now W is this way. So that's weird. Oh, I've never played a game like this. It's very, very oh, weird. Yeah, and I've got no mouse control anymore. Oh, no, I do have mouse control. I can only move the mouse when he's moving. Oh, that's so weird. How the hell did I break the shit out of that? I'm going to scene with an item location. And the camera, I think it's the fact that my camera... I think it's the fact that my camera is no longer parented. Boom. Let's parent it to the boom, remove its distance, see if that fixes everything. And yes. Okay. So that's not going to work. So what I was hoping to do... Why is the look at tied to the boom? It should not be tied to the boom. It should be tied to the camera. I guess the boom is rotating from his head. I'm not, I'm not thrilled with that. Not entirely thrilled with that. All right. Wrong window. I mean, that system is not going to work. Unless I just freaking make it work. Okay, let me grab the boon. I'm going to set it somewhere that makes sense. In this case, 66. And I'm going to shrink the camera in a little bit, 200 units. Let's see how close we are to the character. Okay, yeah, that's going to be better. So we're in a little bit tighter on the character now. Why is that broken down? Right, because my search is going from the item location and not from wrong window. Let's do from the follow camera. Like this. I think that's the way I'm supposed to have this wired. Broke the system. I got the system working, and then I broke the system. Yeah, none of them work. Okay, what's the error I'm getting? Access none trying to read property. K2 node dynamic cast. ASBP totems. Yeah, it's casting to the totem. Why is it reading none when it casts to the totem? Out hit this. Ignore self. Draw time. Let's do 10 seconds. Hey, why is it not drawing? Okay, let's give it a wider berth here for a second. Just broke the one part of the goddamn thing that worked. Okay. So that part works. Okay. That's good. Let's bring this back down to 2 meters. And while the camera system's still broken, this should still work. Oh, it's 2 meters from that's why it's broken. I don't want the camera position. I want the mesh position. That's why it wasn't working. Okay. Yeah. So the issue here is that the character is 6 feet tall. And I need to take his height. Oh, there's the garlic. Look, the garlic. So if I do this, well, I can't look at it. That's the garlic. The textures aren't on it right now, but that's the clove of garlic. So if I were to accept this right now, that would be a vampire. I'm going to put it back. But you can see it swapped out the teapot for that. So that means the system is working, which is, you know, kind of a relief. Oh, so this is coming from the ground. See, it looks like I'm going to have to be very careful about... Okay, I'm going to have to change the way that I'm doing this. So I do want this to be from the camera. Let me go back to the viewport. The camera is... Where's the boom? 200 units from his head. And so I want it to be from the camera through his head to another 200 meters. So I'm going to say 500 is probably a much better number here. I'm going to do 550 just to be safe. And again, I need this to be absolutely on the nose. Okay. So, oh, that's also starting from there. That's not what I wanted. Oh, I'm still doing the mesh. I don't want the mesh. I want the camera. Okay. So this should allow me to bring it up. Put it back down. Let's try another one here. Oh, see, that's too far. There's something else bugged out. I have to track that down. Let's try 400. Again, the boom is 3 or 2. Oh, that's going to have to change. Shoot. So you notice you can't see the hit E to interact. And when I hit the button, it shows up. It's because the collision volume is going with the teapot and it's passing through my character. So again, I've got a system set for a first person working with a third person and not knowing the difference. Bugger. Okay, so I've gotta move this camera. That's gotta be the first thing that I do. So maybe what I do is I just animate the boom instead. So maybe what I do is I take the boom from 0 in X to forward about there, 230, and we'll say 230. So let's get the boom location. Might just be better to set my camera locations as variables here. So let's do that. I'm going to create 2 variables that are going to be vectors. Vector, vector, vector. And this is going to be third cam position. And we're going to compile it so that we can give it a value, which again is going to be the numbers coming in from the boom. It's going to be 0, 0, and 66. So, this one, 0, 0, 66. Compile that. The, Shazbot. Okay, this is going to get a little bit more complex because I'm using world locations, which means this is not going to work. It means I need a dummy behind him that I can use for this. It means I'm going to need to have 2 more collision guys, I guess. Okay, so let's use the mesh arrow component, capsule component. Let's use the capsule component and add 2 more spheres. If I can spell sphere. So, sphere collision. Okay. So, I'm going to create... Oh, where did you go? Good, you're not parented to the sphere. That's good. So, I'm going to rename this first one to be third cam position. And we can get rid of this guy now. Actually, I'm going to end up recreating that variable in a moment. But we'll delete it after. And then we're going to add another sphere. Collision. And this one is going to be first cam pose. Okay, now, first and third do not refer to any kind of enumeration. They refer to first person and third person. That little bit of ambiguity could cause problems in a studio environment, where it's the first position and the second position, as opposed to third position being first position being second. If you're working with more than one person, that is a bad way to name these things. But since I'm the only one that's going to be editing this, I don't care. And so that'll work out quite nicely. So all I'm going to do is just go set this to be 66 in height and 300 in the negatives. Back here. So that should be... Oh no, I shortened the boom to 200. Wondering why it was off. Okay. So there. So I now have a third-person camera position. So something that I can reference later. Now we're going to take this one and 66 it. And I think what I'm going to do is actually move it up a little bit. So up here. The reason for that is I'm going to be linear interpolating in between these two. And I don't want to go through his head. So if I move the camera up here, but then it looks down at the item, I think that might work. So we're going to do this. And that is the first person camera position. Now, the other option that I have is that I can fade the character out as the camera approaches. But that's kind of gets a little expensive doing transparency on the entirety of the character. So I'm going to try to avoid doing that. We're going to see how this works in terms of setting this up. So the nice thing is I can reuse the timeline here, and we can set this up to just kind of work the way that we want it to. Now it means I'm also probably not going to need these sequences here. I'll be able to just kind of run this in one shot. It all has to happen after the timeline. Let's pull this guy back and pull this back. So it's got to happen kind of in here. In fact, this would be a good place for a sequence. Move on, move on. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to put this here. And then the first step is going to be to move the object that we're looking at. And then the second step is going to be essentially redoing all of this. We'll just copy and paste this down here. But instead of being the item that we're moving here, we are going to be moving the camera down here. In fact, I need a set camera location. I don't know if I can do this or not. Let me see if I can use this with the camera. Follow camera. And it might not be the camera. It might have to be the boom. Let me see if I can use the boom. I cannot use either one of those. Actor reference. Oh, because I'm setting an actor component. Let's set component location. Oh. Set world. Let's try this. Set world, location, and rotation. Okay, I might have to do them separate, but it looks like it's going to work. So there's the camera boom. There's the follow camera. So there's the location. Yay. And then I'll pull this out from here and we'll set rotation. World. There you are. We'll plug this in here. And then we just need these two things to be sequential. So this is going to go into location and then rotation. So we move it and rotate it. Ooh. I didn't realize I can manipulate the rotation too. I mean, I obviously did. I just didn't think about the context of what that meant. Okay, so I gotta bring this up over here. Okay. Shoot. Okay, I gotta figure out what I'm doing with these guys, because they can't go on the end of that. One's gotta go in here, one's gotta go up there. However, this compiles without error. The item location is not what I want. Shoot. I don't think this is going to work either. Okay. I gotta walk myself through the logic here. Okay, so we are setting the actor rotation and location based off the totem. So when we find a totem, that's where it sets its location and its rotation to. That's not what I want to do. I want to actually just use the location and rotation of these guys. So this is going to be on begin play. Which I don't like doing this, but it needs to happen. So we are going to first and third camera. And we are going to get... No, it can't happen here. It cannot happen here. It's got to happen inside of this chain. Branch. Branch is true. Totem. Cast. Set. Sequence. Okay, what the hell? We'll do it right here. I'll use the sequence node that I already have. So I need to get world location for both of those. God, I'm going to have to do this at 2 different points. So one's going to have to happen up here. I am going to need this other sequence back. So one has to happen here, and one has to happen here. Exit inspection means we need to find out where the third is. Get world location, and then promote this to a variable. Promote. Okay, and this is going to be third pose. Third cam pose. It didn't like that. Oh, it's already taken. Third cam pose. But I'll put a var at the beginning of that. Promote this one as well. Okay, so this is going to be var first cam pose. Okay. This one is when you're in first person going to third. Since we're going to third, we need to find out where third is. That's where you fire off. Let's take this stuff and move it up. Well, it's a bad place to move it. There. And then we can take all of it, bring it down. Go. Okay, so far so good. This one is going to go here. And that sets the first camera position. I also need to get the rotations. Okay, we're going to make this a little bit bigger. So we also need to get world rotation. Oh, God, I'm stupid. Get world transformation. Split the pin. And the location goes to a variable. And the rotation goes to a variable. Okay, so this is var third cam pose. What the hell did I just type? Why did it not go anywhere? Var third cam pose. Right, because I'm an idiot. It's not pose. Var third cam rot. Idiot. How can you tell it's getting late? Well, first, your streamer this evening is losing his mind. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. I gotta promote this one to its own variable. See if I can name this one without being stupid. Var first cam wrote. All right. Okay. So I should be able to take those 4 variables and set them up in the right way here. So this is what I need. What is the move object? That's not what I want. It's the camera. No, move object. That's coming out of this. I'm going to rename that because that is a stupid name. This is called timeline output. And that works better. Except for I'm setting it to call move object. Timeline output. Stupid ding. All right. Timeline output. That makes that a little bit easier to see. I don't want to get these fellows confused. Let's separate them a wee bit. Make sure that I'm not manipulating one or the other. Okay, so we're going to get the cameras, world location, and position. We're going to lerp that. Now the actor location gets... Hold on now. Ah, shoot. I'm going to have to do this 2 different ways because it's a little bit of a different system. So let's do it first with the first person position. And then we're going to get the first person rotation and do that. Now I think what I need here is a flip-flop to make this work the right way. But let me compile this. What the hell? Okay, so it switched me into first person. I then need to disable my movement at the end of this. Okay, let's try that again. So I'm in third person. I can walk around. Camera does what it's supposed to do. I get near an object. I hit E, and I'm in first person, and my camera's locked. Es bueno. So far, es bueno. Now, I need a flip-flop after this. So here. And the reason for the flip-flop is that I need to do this entire process here again in reverse. So I need to take all of this down here. I don't need the flip-flop. And this is going to go into enabling the camera. And the flip goes into here. And now we swap out our third. And our third. Okay. Presumably, I haven't messed anything up. Other than the one thing I noticed, which is my item location, which is currently linked to the camera. No, to the scene node and the boom. And I actually want to parent this to the camera, so that when the camera moves, the position of the object moves too. So here we have it. Walking around the world, minding my own business. I come across a teapot on the floor, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Hit E to interact. Okay. And I hit E, and whoa. I don't know what kind of witchcraft that was. Holy crap. Okay, so something funky happened in there. What the Sam hell was that? So it was lerping between the positions. but it just like blurred out when it did. Okay. Okay, I have a funny feeling. Let's not move the object. And see if the camera still goes mental. I need a teapot. Teapot. Why did the teapot come from there? Whoa. Okay, that broke something real fierce. Don't do that again. Okay, so something's really broken. I've lost all control of my mouse again. I'm setting... Oh, this is missing from here. How did I delete that? Holy crap. I might have broken something. Oh yeah, that camera's not normal anymore. Okay. The joys of trying to do something that the engine is just not happy with. So the problem here... Oh no, the camera is attached to the boom arm. Oh, that's what I did wrong. It should be my boom arm. That's why it was acting funny. So this should maintain all of the control. Okay, camera works fine. I'm gonna get up to an object here. Hit E. That was not fine. And that's not what cameras do. And now I'm locked out. And then I spam the button and I can break it. That's not ideal. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this another way. Oh, that sucked. So moving the boom is not gonna do it either. What if I delete the boom? How bad is the camera control in third person without a boom? Okay. Capsule. Okay, let's compile this. Yeah, so this is gonna... It won't break, or it won't work well in here. So yeah, this is where the input gets really weird. Where the mouse only works while I'm moving. And it's definitely not doing what I expected it to do. Mm-hmm. Okay, that is doing what I expected it to do. Wait, if my boom's gone? My boom's not gone. I want this. Part of this. That's fine. Let's delete the boom. Recompile this. I'm gonna have to... Oh, oh yeah, because I was moving the boom. Let's move the camera now. Wait, what? Oh, son of a bitch. I just realized the error I'd made. Go back to the point that my viewport is intact and the boom, scene, camera. Okay, they're all back where they should be. Okay, here's the mistake I made. When I set the world location, it's supposed to be of the boom. Set its world location and rotation. And then the same thing should be here. The boom should be here. I shouldn't be moving the camera when it's attached to a boom. Okay, next. This is also the boom. Figure out where the hell it is. This. Okay. Should give me no errors. That should get rid of the... Whoa. Didn't completely get rid of the funky. What the... None of that made any sense. Camera is flipping and flopping and flying all over the place. I don't like the use of the flip-flops. I'd like to change the way that that works. Spamming the button will break the system. A flip-flop in. As it does here. Oh, I wonder if maybe I do this. Hold E to inspect, and when you release E, the inspection mode goes away. Might be a better way of going about doing that part. Having flip-flops, you definitely run the chance of just spamming the button, breaking it. Yeah, it kind of works. I'm still breaking the hell out of the camera. I don't think I'm putting it back to where it oh, I'm not putting it back to where it should have been. The boon is here. Yeah, I'm totally messing this up. This goes to 0, 66. And this one should go forward. Good 200 units, so 230. So that one's where the boon is now. Yeah, that's stupid. Ah, all of these things. Okay, so I get my camera back. Oh, look, garlic. Oh, I don't have my camera back. That was an instance of the, there we go. That's the flip-flop breaking. Yeah, the whole system broke. So I got to remove that flip-flop. Gotta find a better way of doing this. I think it's a gate that I want to use. Okay. So what they recommend I do on the internet isn't much of a fix. It's more of a, let's just make this work. So what they're going to have me do is set a retrigger delay. So I need another bool here. And it's going to be called can inspect. So let's add another variable, which is going to be a bool called can inspect. Inspect question mark. And this can inspect question mark is going to get looked at here. We're going to get its value. Let's actually compile this and tell it that yes, it can be inspected. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to branch here. I got to check both of these goddamn things. Okay, whatever. I make two. There we go. Okay, so that should check to see whether or not I can inspect. Then it's going to fire out. Branch. Okay, so it's after this one that I want to do a sequence with one going into that. Back this stuff up a little bit. A little tight on space here. Let's back this all up. Move this forward and forward. Oh, okay. Nice, wee bit cleaner. So press the button, check to see if you're allowed to inspect something. If you are indeed allowed to inspect something, then we're going to go back into here. It's going to check to see if you're close enough to the object. And then it's going to start the line trace. Once it starts the line trace, this is when we are allowed to do this. This is where we're now going to go and set the can inspect. Set it. And we're going to set it to no, you can't inspect. Then we're also going to add a delay. And we're going to add a delay for 5 seconds. Shoot. Well, this might still work. And then I'm going to set it again. And this time we're going to tell it that yes, you can. So the only reason I'm thinking about whether or not this is going to work is the fact that I'm doing another check when you release the button. So it means if you click the button once, yeah, see, this is not going to work, not with release. Shoot, I have to do another check to see if the button's down or not. So the problem here, this is a logic problem. If you push the E button down, that fires off the delay, which means you have to at least hold it down for 5 seconds. If you don't hold it down for 5 seconds, this guy fires off as false and doesn't do anything. The problem with that is that the true branch has run already, and the button needs to be pressed again to be released. And so if you press it again, it'll fire off the true again, which will then go and break everything else again. So that sucks a bunch. Let's see if that is indeed broken the way that I expect it to be. We got an object. I'm going to hit E. There it is. I let go of E. Nothing happened. Well, that actually wasn't so bad. So I'm going to hit E and let go right away. So there's still some wonky going on. Why is that firing out here? I'm nowhere near close enough to that thing for that to be firing off. Oh, unless, yeah, the collision nodule I have in front of my guy can fire things off. Okay, so this press and release is not the answer. I hate to say it, but the answer is a flip-flop with my branch. I don't like them there flip-flops. I don't like the footwear, and I sure as hell don't like the node. Now that's compiled. I still have to fix the camera smoothing. Well, that looks normal. So it is possible to spam it if you're fast enough on the keyboard. You know what I'll do? You know what the fix is? Fix is 2 different keys. Yeah, I know I broke the hell out of that. That's what the fix is. The fix isn't a flip-flop here. The fix is spacebar. Can't run anyway, or can't jump anyway. Oop, there. Fixed. So E now will only ever do that. Space will put it back, which means damn you, flip-flop. Damn you all to hell, flip-flop. I think that flip-flop's going to be a problem. Okay. Back in the world. We pick it up. And we put it back. Right. So far, so good. Find another one. Oh, what's this? Pick it up. Why is my camera back there? Put it back. And now I'm locked out. There we go. Intriguing. So spacebar. I need to see if we're in inspect mode. Inspect mode, yes or no? Why am I not checking to see if I'm in inspect mode here? That sounds stupid. only want this to ever fire off if I'm in inspect mode. You know what I should do? I'm using one timeline, and I should just bite the frickin' bullet and make two of them. That'll kill the flip-flop. So I'll actually have one chain, instead of these both wiring into the same object. Which is all manner of stupid. I can bring this down here. I can duplicate this. Timeline output 1. And then we're going to promote to variable timeline output 2. Okay, this one is going to play from start. Those don't have to go anywhere. I need to edit the timeline so that it's in reverse. So the variable here, which should be at 0, should have a value of 1. And this one, which has a time of 1, has a value of 0. Okay. Update. Set that. And then you're just going to go straight across to here. You're going to go straight across to here. Okay. Now, I'm not doing that in reverse. So that has to happen in conjunction. So I need to do this again. Let's move all of this down. This needs to happen down here as well. I don't have a flip or a sequence. I need the sequence here. You're actually number 1 and you're 0. Okay, that should work, with the exception of time output 2. Feeding into these. 2 instances of the same thing. I'll put one down here. Same deal here. Okay. Let's try and sweep the camera. See if that's any better. Okay, compile. Newfin breaks. Play. Okay, looks normal. Behaves normal. I was able to break the hell out of that. Why did that happen? Can inspect true. Okay, so let's... I don't need this. Let's put the space bar over here. That. I don't think... That's the only reference to that, so I don't think I'm actually using that. Alright. So far, so good. No. Not so good. So far, so far. So I can get the camera to move. I'm still getting a weird double-click pop. Okay, so when you hit the E button, check to see whether or not you can actually look at something. If you can look at something, check to see if it's the right distance away to see if you can look at it. If it is the right distance away that you can look at it, I should just use an AND here. And plug this and this into the AND in here. Like so. Okay. That'll only fire off now if both of those are true. Move this back. You're going to go up here. You're going to go down here. That back enough that we can line this up. Okay. Press the E button. It checks to see if these two things are true. The two things that are true are can inspect and the distance. If they're both true, we start a sequence. That sequence sets can expect to false, waits 5 seconds, and then sets it to true. So I can't re-hit this button for another 5 seconds. It also does the trace, checks to see what it hit, makes sure it's that thing, casts it, sets inspecting to true, and it should also set can inspect to false. Yeah, I don't need to do this. I don't need to reset that to true. So this sets it to false, so it's not, you cannot inspect anymore. Okay, that's fine. Sequence here, get the camera, play the timeline, do this, go in here, inspect mode is true, because I'm now in inspect mode. Next. Spacebar. Can you inspect? This should be false, not true. So if you cannot inspect, then do this. Set inspect mode to false. Set the totem to be blank. Third cam position. Play this. Do that. Okay. And then finally at the end, set inspect mode to false. Now, nowhere do I ever set can inspect to be true again. That should happen here. Can inspect. Set can inspect to true. Okay. I think I'm using two variables with different names to do two opposite things. Okay, so that got really weird. Inspect mode works nicely, though. Spacebar, putting the camera back. Not working. Get rotation and rotation of this guy. Now, what is that? Third. Why is that in his head? Because it's the boom that we're setting to that. That's fine. And we're going to set the camera boom back to that. Should be sweeps too. That seemed to have worked quite nicely. All of this should be sweeping. Something's wrong. That's peculiar. It's launching me into the air. I'm broken my camera. All right. When in doubt, save everything and go to bed. So I think that's it for my logic for this evening. I am not going to be able to figure anything else out as I get more and more tired here. I was actually hoping to get this system done and build something else, but looks like it's not in the cards for me for tonight. So I'm going to call it a night and hit this with fresh eyes mañana. And so thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, even if this wasn't the most glorious of streams. And come back and check me out tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, and we'll be hitting this again here, hopefully getting to a point where we can solidify this system. And then I've got there's only one more system I've got to finish, which is the email system. And so hopefully I can get all of that knocked out. And so tune in tomorrow. Come and check me out tomorrow, and we'll see what we can do about getting this all done and put together.